Hello Cupcakes, this is Mushroom, and we're back on Ark Survival Evolved, where we're on the road to Ark Survival Ascended. Last time we discussed the game-changing items that altered the way we survive, and your feedback was honestly amazing. I loved how thought-provoking your comments were, and the conflicting opinions, especially between my PvP players and my PvE players, was really interesting. There were even a few suggestions that I loved, like to incorporate a creature's drag weight into cryopods. It was just really interesting. I found in general, people want these items as early as possible due to their quality of life improvements. It just makes Ark way more playable for people who don't have a whole lot of free time. It was so much fun chatting with you guys in the comments, and it actually got me wondering on your thoughts on the overpowered creatures that have been added to Ark Survival Evolved throughout the years, and when they should be added to Ark Survival Ascended. There have been creatures added to the game over the years that have cemented themselves as core creatures to any Ark playthrough. This list isn't going to be exhaustive, so if you want to add more creatures in the comments, let me know. I'm sure that this list is going to be very different for PvE players versus PvP players. I find this might be a little bit more PvE focused, so PvP players, please give me your opinions. Toss some other creatures in here. I love interacting with you guys. You guys just bring up so many great points. In saying that, let's get into it. Number 1, the Strider. The first creature the Ark community thinks of when discussing game-changing creatures is the Strider. Introduced in the Genesis 2 expansion, the Strider has revolutionized farming from a task that could take hours into taking a fraction of that. Striders come with 4 head attachments that include excavation rigs to send materials to a text storage box, a radar attachment, a silence cannon, and a pulse cannon. The body has 4 attachments as well, including a resource excavator, or as we all know them as bags, a force field generator, a force field projector, and a phase cannon. The Strider is a relatively easy team, just requiring a button pressing game, but it does require mutagen in order to team, which is generally kind of a late game resource, but it also makes it impossible to team anywhere other than its home map, which is likely going to be one of the very last maps to join Ark Survival Ascended. Do you guys think that the Strider should be made available earlier in the Ark Survival Ascended launch, or are you content to wait until Genesis 2 to grab yourself one? Creature number 2 on our list, the Crystal Wyvern. Introduced in the Crystal Isles expansion, Crystal Wyvern stands as the only tameable wyvern in Ark. Before their addition to the game, survivors had to brave the trenches to steal a wyvern egg and sacrifice many pterodons in order to keep the baby growing until they received a full-grown adult as the fruit of their labor. In contrast, Crystal Wyverns are one of the easiest tames in the game, with only a pick and some free time needed to bag one. Basically, as soon as you spawn on Crystal Isles, you get yourself a pick and some crystal, and you just have to stand on one, and it can be a little bit time-consuming depending on the level, but it's quite the easy team. Having a wyvern so early changes survival vastly for both PvE and PvP alike. Should Crystal Wyverns be added to Ark Survival Ascended earlier to ease the early game survival experience and make it a little bit easier for everyone? Creature number 3, the Xenomorph herself, the Reaper. Introduced with the Aberration expansion, the Reaper remains as one of the most unique and downright disturbing taming methods. Getting a Reaper is a staple of the Ultimate Survivor, ensuring to be a formidable powerhouse as well as tank, especially if your opponent is not using a light pet. The Reaper is not exclusive to its home map, but it still will not be included in Ark Survival Ascended until Aberration drops. Should this powerhouse be added sooner, or should it be saved for its introduction when Ab comes out? The creature coming in at number 4 is the Desmotis. Until Fjordur was released, caving in Ark was a harsh undertaking a survivor had to conquer in order to prove their mettle before challenging the Guardians of the Ark. With the introduction of Fjordur brought the game-changing bat, the Desmotis. Caving has been rendered a breeze as a survivor can float over the dangers on their bat, easily snagging the loot and artifacts alike. Desmotis also allows a survivor to craft a sanguine elixir. which increases a creature's taming or imprinting by 30%. This saves survivors so much time making sure that you get a very good team. Are you prepared to wait until Fjordur for the overpowered vampire bat, or would you like to see it added to Ark Survival Ascended earlier? Before I mention number 5, there are tons of other creatures I could have put on this list. One I was very considering, but it ended up just not making it, was the Shadowmane, also to Genesis 2. We all know the Shadowmane is a very strong creature. Naturally tanky, it also shells out a significant amount of damage, and we will not be seeing it again until Genesis 2 drops, which is going to be very late in the Ark Survival Ascended journey. Okay, and number 5. The last creature on this list is actually arksurvivalavolved's last additional creature, the Rhino Natha. The Rhino Natha is set to be coming out at the beginning of Ark Survival Ascended with the induction of the island. It may be last on the list, but the Rhino is one of the strongest creatures ever introduced to arksurvivalevolved. The Sky Giga packs quite the punch, as well as being able to tank quite a bit. Its abilities are crazy. It can carry items such as the Tech Cloner and Vaults, as well as creatures as big as a Rex. It spits hardening resin, rapid shooting needles, and missile launchers from its tail. Does the Rhino Natha alter the survival experience a little bit too much? Should this creature be available at the very beginning of Ark Survival Ascended? Or do you believe that it should be coming out a little bit later with the Lost Island expansion? Please let me know your thoughts on each creature in Ark Survival Ascended and where it should be added. I'm sure my lovely survivors on PvE have a very different opinion than my PvPers, as per my last video. Your feedback was absolutely amazing, guys. I was just so overwhelmed. I just have such a cool community. And if you guys do like this comment, like and subscribe to join the Mushroom Party, and check out my series on the Monarchy server. And for all of my lovelies already in the Mushroom Party, a million thanks for being part of our little adventure. I just love you guys. And can't wait to enjoy the wild ride that is Ark Survival Ascended with you. So until next time, this is Mushroom, and I'll see you in the next one.